While Biden old definitely got the gold this week for media attention, silver I would say goes to Project 2025. Clarence Thomas, he's been fighting to make the podium. Right? And that for a number of reasons, starting with 2 Democratic senators are calling for a criminal investigation into Thomas for possible violations of tax laws and federal ethics. Right? With Senator Sheldon Whitehouse of Rhode Island and Senator Ron Wyden of Oregon sending a letter to Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, asking him to appoint a special counsel. A special counsel that would be tasked with investigating Thomas's failure to disclose his sugar baby antics. With that including the acceptance of lavish gifts and luxury travel. And specifically with this, they're asking the special counsel to look into whether Thomas violated tax laws by failing to disclose his income, the $267,000 he received in forgiven debt for a luxury RV. With the Senate Finance Committee previously concluding that a good chunk of that loan came from Thomas's friend, Anthony Welters, and was forgiven in 2008. They're also asking the special counsel to investigate the $25,000 in consulting fees paid to Thomas's wife, Virginia, by conservative judicial activist Leonard Leo, with some ethics experts saying that those payments raise questions about whether Thomas should have recused himself from certain cases. And in their joint statement, Whitehouse and Wyden wrote, "We do not make this request lightly. Supreme Court justices are properly expected to obey laws designed to prevent conflicts of interest and the appearance of impropriety and to comply with the federal tax code." And adding, no government official should be above the law. Now with this, the senators may have asked for a special counsel, but that doesn't mean that the Justice Department is actually going to make that happen. With, for example, Jeremy Fogel, a former federal judge and executive director of the Berkeley Judicial Institute, saying, inevitably, it would be seen as political retribution for rulings the justices made that they don't like. I just don't know how you get out of that box. Though also, actions that may lead nowhere, that seems to be kind of the theme surrounding everything Clarence Thomas. Because also in the news, you have Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez introducing articles of impeachment against Thomas and Samuel Alito yesterday, with AOC accusing both justices of failing to recuse themselves from certain cases that have come before the Supreme Court, as well as failing to disclose gifts from wealthy benefactors. And AOC saying in a statement, Justice Thomas and Alito's repeated failure over decades to disclose that they received millions of dollars in gifts from individuals with business before the court is explicitly against the law. And the refusal to recuse from the specific matters and cases before the court in which their benefactors and spouses are implicated represents nothing less than a constitutional crisis. And further adding, Congress has a legal, moral, and democratic obligation to impeach. Though really, with the current state of things, especially with a Republican-controlled House, this is not going to go anywhere. Though it gives me the opportunity to drop a little piece of fun trivia. The only time that a Supreme Court justice has actually ever been impeached was Samuel Chase back in 1805, but even there he was acquitted by the Senate. Also, if that ends up helping you on a trivia night, you owe me a drink. But that said, going back to AOC, she was joined by several Democrats in introducing the articles of impeachment. And as the New York Times said, some Democrats say their party must make a case against the justices in the court of public opinion, which I will say there, it could have value, especially as we head to an election where the Democrats are going to really need to focus on policy versus what Trump would do if he gets back in office. Whether that be something like a Project 2025, or the fact that he'd be in a position to put more people on the Supreme Court, along with the fact that the people he has put on the Supreme Court already have made massive sweeping changes, whether it be immunity or Roe v. Wade, what more of that could look like in the near future, especially if he gets to put even more people up there.